Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Suit Up Geek Fix podcast. As AJ kind of hyperventilates for whatever reason within the time span of that 30-second intro, a lot of things have clearly changed, just like WandaVision has. But thank you guys for coming out, talking WandaVision with us, because I'll admit, this wasn't my favorite episode, but it was still a great episode, if that makes sense. I don't think there was too many like oh shit moments in this, but I guess we can just start off with, do we think that was the I forgot the scientist, I'm just gonna say that Monica knows. So when they finally pull up to the ridge, Monica finally meets the scientist, or that's what they want us to think. I don't know. They never confirmed it, but I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, "Oh wow, this is such a lame fucking reveal. We don't know who this is." Like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't think this is that person. I definitely think that they might be revealed. I mean, they have to be revealed soon. We got 2 episodes left at this point. Yeah. But guys, what do you think on this? Do you think that was the scientist Monica was talking about? And do we think if it isn't her, will we see them or just get like a reference?
Go ahead, AJ.
For me, I think actually, I don't think it was the scientist. For me, I think we will get that reveal next episode of who the scientist is. But for now, the issue I have is that people on Twitter or on any social media always hype up every episode, and then once it doesn't get their way, they start to complain. Yeah. And it just messes up the whole vibe of WandaVision, which is just annoying to me. Because a lot of people just expected that huge reveal that Luke Skywalker, everybody's saying Luke Skywalker as reveal, even though that wasn't stated in the interview. So yeah, I don't think that was the scientist that they were hyping up in the show.
Same.
I don't know about you guys.
Deibs, what about you, my man?
I don't really know. On one end, Major Goodner, right? I think her name was. Mm-hmm. If it was, it's a major missed opportunity. I know Reed Richards was a pipe dream. We talked for hours about that, literally. Yeah. Just theorizing, could it be Reed Richards or someone else? But if it was a missed opportunity. I'm saying I'm going to be optimistic, glass half full. It's going to be someone else down the road in these last 2 episodes. But if it is, it sucks. But that's kind of the nature of the show. It keeps you guessing, and it's never anything you would expect. So other than Agatha,
before I go to you, I do want to mention something. So I don't want to say hype this Marvel, but I would say that they've been leading us breadcrumb trails on for a few episodes, saying that they want us to think that it's about to be a big reveal. Now, that is partially a lot of our faults for assuming a monumental thing, but I don't ever remember hearing them discuss or disclose that she was a scientist or any of those people there were that specific scientist, because they were all military. And I know in the military, they all wear the military gear, even in the medical field. So I don't remember hearing a confirmation, but let's just go to Lo. Do you think the general – Lo, your smile just lightened up my day, bro. Your smile just lightened up my day. Your smile just like – I just got to say, bro, as soon as I called your name, you found one yo, ASAP. But, yo, my man, thank you for coming on. A little late, but it's all good, man. You're here for the first question still. Do you think that was the military chick that Monica was talking to? Do you think that was the scientist that they've been kind of leading us up on for the past few episodes? And if you don't, do you think that we'll see them or get any name mention or something?
Hell no. That was not who we thought it was. Also, I'm not saying it's going to be the Luke Skywalker thing. I think AJ hit something very important. I think everybody gets way too excited over every little freaking thing they hear on Twitter and the internet. Damn you, the internet, because they get our hopes up so freaking high that it gets to a point where even if the episode or the show is good, we get let down because of our own expectations. And I think, AJ, you brought up a really good point, man. But at the same time, to that point, I think that person is still going to pop up. I think that was not a throwaway line, especially the way it was emphasized. Like, oh, hey, by the way, I know this astrophysicist. Like, they wouldn't just tell us that without that person coming to fruition. And I think, if anything, everyone we saw on the sword side was just reinforcements as far as I'm concerned. It wasn't anybody specific that they called.
No, it wasn't sword they called, though. It was the military. She
Oh,
called
was
the
that
military.
right? I thought it was like sword backup.
No, she called the military.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna lie. I was half asleep when I watched that. I had to pause because I like dozed off, and then I woke up and I went to the bathroom and I finished it, but I was like half asleep.
All good, man.
But I will say though, have we touched the ending yet, or are we not there yet?
Bro, this is the very first thing we've started discussing.
Okay, for sure. So I'll save my thoughts on that later. But for as far as like the backup, I don't think we saw who the astrophysicist that was mentioned. So I think it's coming still.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of what AJ and Lo said. Damn you, internet, because I saw a tweet, I think Saturday or Sunday, that the last 3 episodes would be an hour freaking long. And I'm the idiot that sees that tweet, tells like 4 of my friends, come noon today, I'm getting messages from them like, what the hell, man? It was only 37 minutes. Damn you, internet.
You ruined their day. You ruined their day.
Can I say though, it's like it's kind of fun when we see that please stand by card.
Bro, it's so annoying now. It's just a meme at this point. It's just a meme at this point.
I gotta say though, like that is
so funny.
Quintessential television. That leaving you hanging, that leaving you wanting more, that is the basis of like all TV shows. Like they always want to leave you hanging so you can watch the next week's episode. Like
I want to touch on the Luke Skywalker thing. Because
I think you're on mute.
No, I'm not.
He's just not talking. He's not
talking. No, I thought he was saying something. All right, go ahead, Ren.
No. So I kind of agree with you guys. I do think that the internet blows it way out of proportion, but I don't think a lot of people are thinking about that statement literal enough. Because I would think Marvel is a very literal company. Because people and the fans, they go so off branches nowadays that I feel like Marvel can literally just give it to us and we just won't believe them. So I'm going to go with the literal interpretation of that quote and actually think about how...
What quote? Can you specify?
No, about it being a Luke Skywalker reveal. So I think that at the end of this season, at like the very last few moments, someone's going to come in to help. I think that's how they're going to play it and have it be a literal Luke Skywalker moment. And I feel like that's when it's going to vary on who we see. If that's how it ends, I'm going to lean a little bit more on Doctor Strange, but that's just me. And I know, go up. Feel free, man.
Real quick, I don't want to linger on it too long, but does it bother you guys at all that it was Elizabeth Olsen that said that? Because it almost makes me feel like she shouldn't have said anything. If anything, she should have just let us watch the freaking show and find out for ourselves what the big moment was.
I mean,
Paul Bettany.
She answered the question that was given to her.
Okay,
she didn't say anything about Luke Skywalker. It was just everybody, especially the people that were doing the headlines that were hyping that what she said up, even though she didn't technically say that.
Okay. So they were it was clickbaity. They kind of played on her words a little bit. Okay. That makes sense. Because I was going to say, I'm wondering, like, why would she say that, you know?
I definitely think we are going to get a big reveal, as you'd put it. But something I wasn't expecting in this episode, which I guess I could have expected, was Monica getting her powers so soon. I know that they've been teasing it throughout the season. With the very first tease with her blood type and all that in like episode 4 when she got pushed out of the hex. I feel like we're at a stage now with Marvel where we're just gonna get these origins super fast now. Like Monica got her powers like within 3 episodes, and I really enjoyed it. I was afraid that they were gonna linger on her being human too long, but that final confrontation. And Lo, you missed a conversation between the three of us about Monica going through the hex that I'll bring up in a second. But I absolutely loved that scene of her going through the hex. Now, when she's going through the hex, it's one of those big triumphant moments of her overcoming the odds, kind of, and pushing through, going through the hex. And that her overcoming those odds was her listening to Carol and her mother. But there's a voice that I feel like a lot of people missed, and that's Nick Fury's. If you go back and listen to it, Deeb literally just did too, so I can actually say this. Nick Fury has a quote talking to Monica when she's going through that little phase shift, whatever you want to call that. So does that set up that Nick Fury might have been a father figure for Monica? I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to let someone else talk.
I can see that being a possibility, especially since Samuel.
We also know she grew up in the sword facility in space.
Yeah.
So the last time we saw Nick Fury, just saying.
That's awesome. I never even thought of that. That's definitely a possibility. So
just hit me. It actually just hit me.
This also, so that will also like connect WandaVision to Secret Invasion and Captain Marvel 2.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Also, going back to the Monica's power reveal, at first I was thinking that we were going to get that during Captain Marvel 2, but I'm really happy that we got it. I'm really happy that we got it in WandaVision just to get over with. I love that they gave us that one of the big reveals within this episode as her getting her origins for her powers, which I thought was really cool.
Hands down, one of my favorite moments. Hands down, one of my favorite moments of this season so far. Not only her conversing through the hex, but her confrontation with Wanda. I thought that was just such an amazing character moment for her. By the way, like Tiana Paris has absolutely crushed her role as Monica in this series. Like so much praise has been given to Elizabeth Olsen, but like I just love. There's something so lovable and charismatic about Monica's character. I love the way she refuses to believe that Wanda's a villain. I love, like you saw it in the episode prior where she's like, if Wanda's the problem and we can't stop her, then she has to be the solution. I love her optimism, glass half full type of character. She's truly been a standout, and she's really being set up here for Captain Marvel 2, and I cannot wait to see what's in store for her moving forward.
Well, that optimism. Go ahead, Lo.
I just want to touch on the fact that, like, even though we did get her origins rather quickly, I think they executed it really well, especially showing her perseverance, like showing the type of character she is, where she just was like, no, I'm going back in there. Jimmy Woo is like, no, come back. And she just pushes through and see her strength, like that struggle briefly, like it was maybe like 30 seconds, but that was just enough to establish like, this is who Monica is. She's a badass. She is strong. She's fearless, and she won't give up. And I love that. And I love that line where she's like, I'm not afraid of you, Wanda. And she steps forward.
Oh,
loved it. I was just like hype. I was like, let's go.
This was her moment standing up to the plate.
I love it.
And I'll be real. I know this was a very short scene, but I want to give credit to the people that visualize this. And it's when she came out of the hex and she saw everything in whatever that vision is for her. And I don't know too much on the Photon character, but I want to see more of how that goes with her, how that works with her powers, because I'm sure AJ knows, but I'm sure that's going to be pretty instrumental with, I'm going to assume, with just some sort of heat vision, I guess you can say, where she can see hot, cold to help her detect things. And she gets blue eyes too when she comes out, which she looks, dude, she's an absolute badass if I've ever seen one. And dude, think about it. Captain Marvel 2, we're getting Photon, Miss Marvel, and Captain Marvel, dude. That's going to be a fucking trifecta right there, dude. Fucking trifecta.
I like that word.
Dude, I had to use like a really sophisticated word there instead of.
I can't help but think of Pineapple Express though, the trifecta of smoke coming through the cross joint.
Oh my god!
A little bit off topic. During the what is it? During the beginning, where they have the intro, did you guys notice? There was a message in that intro. Did you guys notice that?
I saw a video. I didn't catch it when I watched it. Someone pointed it out when I was watching like a review of the episode. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't notice that. But
So,
dude,
yeah.
it's just so crazy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically the message said, "I know what you're doing, Wanda." Which I don't know.
Isn't that what Jimmy said in the beginning? I remember someone saying that line in the beginning.
No, Jimmy said, "What are you?"
He said,
doing?
"What are you doing?"
Yeah, what are you
Oh,
doing?
okay.
So
thank you for clarifying that.
I'm guessing that I don't know. I'm guessing it's Agatha that did that, maybe, but I'm not entirely sure who wrote the message, which is another question for the episode for WandaVision to answer in the future. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
No, yeah, definitely. I want to get to the juicy stuff though,
Here we go.
guys. We're getting into it. This was I'm just gonna put it in quotes, the big reveal, because this was just the thing that we've spoken about every single week about Agatha Harkin being Agnes being Agatha Harkin, and it was confirmed today. And dude, I don't know. It made me feel indifferent for some reason. I don't know. I feel like Catherine Hahn just hasn't been in this season very often.
Okay, well, here's a question for you. Were you disappointed?
No,
in the
I wasn't
reveal?
disappointed.
Or were you like, sorry, not disappointed, underwhelmed? Underwhelmed with the reveal?
He said he was underwhelmed.
I was kind of underwhelmed, but not because we guessed it, but because of how they did it.
Okay.
I felt like they could have fleshed that out a little bit more. It felt very sudden to me, and it felt like a thing.
We have 2 more episodes.
No, I know, but I felt like if Catherine Hahn is such a great actress, and I felt like they should have used her a little bit more. And even if it was like extended over one episode, it started at the end of episode 6 or something when Pietro, now that we know that he's working with her, kind of whatever going on there, we don't really know. But yeah, dude, I'm just underwhelmed because it just happened so fast for me. But dude, her acting was phenomenal. What was that layer called again, AJ? And the book, because I can't remember the name.
Book of Sins. The Book of
the Book of Sins.
The Book of Sins or
Darkhold.
It's called that too.
Yeah.
It's called both of that.
No, yes.
Darkhold and
What did you guys get from the big reveal this week? How did you guys feel about it? Let me know.
I want to say cheers to Sparky, because I just got over the death of Sparky. It took me three episodes to finally get over Sparky.
And then she rubs it in her face.
She rubs it in your face.
She rubs it.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that, because you think of the tone, the vibe of this show. Mm-hmm. It is sitcom based.
Hey, Deibs, she looked you right in the eyes.
She really did.
The dog.
It was me. But for real, I liked how they utilized the sitcom element. It was like the Munsters kind of theme song. That was a really cool moment because it fits alongside the previous 6 episodes. I enjoyed the reveal, not only because I called it. I don't think a lot of people, like casual fans, understand who Agatha is. Mm-hmm. My excitement for that scene was not Agatha. I was expecting it to go down. The big reveal, I think, was the fact that we got our first glimpse of the Hell dimension. When you see her going down the stairs and going into the Hell dimension, that has so many implications moving forward. Is it hell, or is it like some sort of necromancy type of layer? And there's so many things to go to that. That was what I kind of like took from that, was now that we're getting hell thrown into the MCU. You saw this, really series planting seeds for the new Avengers and Spider-Man 3, I think that's also a direct tie, this hell dimension, into Doctor Strange 2, which leads me then to believe that Mephisto is coming. What we're talking about is Wanda's powers are being used by Agatha, and that is going to resurrect Mephisto via the kids. That I think that all but confirmed that in this episode.
For me, my brain just instantly went the other way around. Instead of Mephisto, I thought of Dormammu.
I thought a Nightmare. I just want to get that out there.
You said this was the first glimpse that we got from the Hell Dimension, but I believe that the first glimpse of the Hell Dimension that we got was in the first Doctor Strange movie, where we got the final confrontation between Dormammu and Doctor Strange.
Dormammu, I've come to bargain.
Which the reason why I believe that it's Dormammu instead of like Mephisto or Nightmare is because Dormammu was trapped. He wasn't defeated in Doctor Strange, but he was trapped within his own dimension. And we know that on Earth there are many like followers of Dormammu. I forgot his name, but one of the Ancient One's disciples was one of them. And I believe that Agatha is part of that religion as well. I know a lot of people will have issues with this because Mephisto is the one that pulls the strings with Agatha and just the House of M stuff and all of that. But I feel like that Kevin Feige is going to flip that around and just switch Mephisto with Dormammu.
That just makes a lot of sense, though.
It does. It does. I think it makes a lot more sense than Mephisto. AJ and I were talking on Twitter. I was like, the fact that like Mephisto is going to eat Wiccan and Speed and like be resurrected into the reality, like that's really dark for the MCU.
We talked about that too. I was like that's not dark. We don't have any more issues with Marvel and darkness anymore. We're already going to get a rated R MCU movie movie. And right now, WandaVision has been like super dark, especially with the dialogue with Wanda in this episode, where she was like, "I've just been depressed. I don't want to get up." That is really, really, really dark. So I don't think we have any more issues with how dark the MCU can go.
And I want to piggyback off of that, and that's why I love this episode so much. I've said it over and over and over again. This show clicks on all cylinders when it's really touching on Wanda's trauma and Wanda's depression and her refusing to accept the truth. And I think this was the first episode of the series that really started to move the needle forward, have those real conversations between Darcy and Vision, between Photon and Monica and Wanda. I think this was the first one that actually did that. And that's another reason why I love this so much.
I'm just excited because I feel like after this episode, Catherine Hahn is just going to eat up everything after this at this point.
Yeah.
And,
cool.
And I think before we go to low, I think if you guys remember in the trail, like the only trailer we've ever gotten for like the full length trailer, we see a scene of Wanda trying, or like, I don't know if she's blowing it up or exploring the Mind Stone, because that's something they haven't explained yet. That's been on my mind. How is the Mind Stone there? And I feel like
sorry.
No, yeah.
Go ahead.
And I feel like we're gonna get that next episode. Continue, AJ.
Oh, okay. So we got that ad in WandaVision, the Nexus ad in WandaVision. And basically, Nexus is basically like a portal to alternate realities and stuff like that. And we all know that Captain America, Steve Rogers, went to like different timelines to put back the
stones.
Well, yeah, the stones and stuff like that. So I believe that's how Agatha got the crystals, is because of the Darkhold and because of that ad, the Nexus ad, because she went through different realities, or someone else went through different realities and got the stones and gave them to Agatha to just move the plot forward.
I think it's as simple as we see Agatha messing up the timeline, and that's what gets Doctor Strange in on this series.
Or do we think, since Dormammu's stuck in the Dark World that we're just going to call for right now, do we think that Agatha has the potential to enter that world, and Dormammu can give her whatever the ability is to go through the multidimensional in order to help get him out, because Doctor Strange kept him trapped in that dimension?
Maybe.
Well, I thought the deal was if he released Dormammu would just go away. I thought that was the deal.
Was it?
Yeah, I'll keep talking.
He ended the time loop, and then Dormammu was like, "All right, peace out," and he just dipped.
I really need
to it. Hold on.
AJ, you go back to that.
But can I just speak to the writing of this episode? Like, I just want to just speak to the simple parts of this episode. It's not an actual term, but you guys know what a red herring is, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that Catherine Hahn's character as Agatha. It was like a reverse red herring, especially because of that dialogue she had with Vision when she was acting like she didn't know what was going on. Like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm dead, or you're dead. And like, it was like, okay, it's not her. She's not a bad guy. Like, it threw us off. It was like a false lead.
I'm glad you mentioned that. When you finish, I want to touch on something that I've been seeing going on the internet recently.
But like going to like mystery novels, mystery films, even mystery TV shows, what's fun about that is like when you're guessing who is the bad guy, sometimes it's always right under your nose, like a freaking Scooby-Doo episode. And I thought that was...
Oh, he's muted.
Lo, you're muted. Lo, you're muted. I don't know. Does he hear us?
Can't unmute your guest. Their mic isn't connected. Oh, we lost his mic.
God damn it. So when did I cut out? What was the last thing I said?
You wanted to touch on the writing. You talked about how the red
herring.
And they're throwing you off that Agatha looks
is the reverse red herring, shit like that.
And then
so like in the typical trope in mysteries is like it's usually like the person that is right under your nose, but you're just thinking about every other person it could be. And I just thought that was so funny how the showrunners pulled the rug out from under us, like, haha, it was Agatha the whole time. So in terms of the writing, I enjoyed that part. It played into like the mystery trope, but it also was still surprising because we were literally guessing every other character. We were like, oh, it's Dottie. Oh, it's Evan Peters.
I never got that. I never got why people kept saying Dottie. I felt like I was the only one who never even thought about Dottie once.
Well, I just mean like in terms of making us think things, it was very manipulative the way they wrote the show. And I just thought that was great. Because when that moment happened and they played that Munster song, it was just so fun for me. I was like, haha, this is great. It was like pulling off the mask in Scooby-Doo.
The writers manipulate that for a character that manipulates reality.
Yeah.
Boom.
I like
Boom. It. I finished it for you. But guys, there was a post-credit scene for this episode for whatever fucking reason. I just want to say that's wild. We've gone 6 episodes so far, and we get a post-credit scene all of a sudden. Marvel's got something up their sleeves, but what we saw is Monica actually started to follow Agatha and Wanda down into the dark hole. She kind of went around the back, and Pietro shows up and cuts to black. Hand in your theories, boys.
I think
I didn't even see that shit. Hold on.
Oh, well, you didn't even see that?
He's gonna go watch it right now.
I'm gonna watch it right now.
So you watch that. Me and the 3 of us will talk about it. So, Deibs, what did you think about that post-credit scene?
There's so much to take. So my prediction is Vision catches up, and he's going to kind of unphase Pietro. And I think my opinion is if the people that were hoping for the Fox X-Men universe to be part of this, I think it's only confirmed now. I do think that Agatha, we learn, is controlling Pietro. I do think that this gives a little more. No, everything could change next week. But I do think this actually tilted it towards it's actually Evan Peters from the X-Men franchise now. And that's going to potentially drop some bombs next week. I'm talking Magneto, all of that kind of stuff. So we'll see. But I do think that Pietro is going to snap out of it with Vision and then help Monica find whatever's going on down in that Hell's dungeon.
No, yeah, AJ, thoughts on the post-credit scene, man? You're muted too.
Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah. I just can't see them bringing in Fox, specifically Fox's X-Men, and WandaVision. With that being said, I do like that we did get that reveal that Agatha was controlling everything, including Quicksilver, and at the end, the end credit scene, we do see him sneak up on Monica, which I thought was really, really cool. But even before that, we do get Vision leaving the truck, flying back. So he's definitely going to be in the next episode. Maybe to help Monica. If Monica and Quicksilver face off. Also, I think we're going to have a huge fight at the end between between Agatha and Wanda, which is probably going to be one of the biggest fights. Not even just in WandaVision, but like and just MCU in total. So I love the end credit scene for me.
Yeah, AJ, I'm gonna agree with you. I feel like the season's kind of gonna end on the third. We go into the third act. She releases whoever she's trying to release. Doctor Strange comes out. We get into a massive battle with everybody, and they lose, which leads us into the next film. That seems like where it's kind of going, but like you said, Deibs, anything can happen after next episode. But I saw Lowe's face after watching that, and I really want to get his thoughts.
I love it, and I think it's going to be fun. I think that it's interesting because we don't know exactly who Pietro is yet. Peter, whatever you want to call him. We don't know where he came from yet. And I think that is exciting. I don't want to close the door yet.
I think he's just a normal person, but Agatha is
I think he's just a henchman.
Yeah, I just think that Agatha like imbued memories within a normal person
and gave him powers.
And gave him powers too.
Yeah.
So as you can see from my phone, I think I'm one of like the small faction of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. followers. So I got to ask you, AJ, do you think, because the Darkhold did appear in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ada had hold of the Darkhold and was damn near close to ending the world.
And it was connected to Ghost Rider as well. Yeah.
Yes, and Ghost Rider also referenced the hell dimension that we were speaking of. So I'm just wondering if is that the same device? Are we combining these worlds here?
100%. The reason why I don't think they're going to do that right now is because Kevin Feige already confirmed that they're writing Fox, Ghost Rider and stuff now at this point in time. Nice. So I do believe that the Darkhold is going to be like a huge catalyst for Blade. I believe it's going to be a huge catalyst for Ghost Rider. Just basically
it's gonna be a thing that connects so many different characters in so many different movies. I feel like that's what you're trying to say is we get Blade in one movie go there, and then we have Wanda and Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange 2 go there, and you're like, oh wait, fuck, that's cool. Something like that.
I want Dracula so bad.
You know what else is interesting is when because Ada, if you guys don't know, she was the big bad of season 4, and she actually did a Doctor Strange type of thing to open the portal that she opens, and that was around the time that Doctor Strange came out. So I love that if this is what's happening, it's all coming together. It's really well done in my opinion.
I don't think that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to connect to the MCU. I think that's long and gone now. If that's what you were trying to refer to, I don't think they're going to connect at all. But that's just me.
I don't think they'll connect the show, but I definitely think they'll bring in a character or two. I don't see that not being a possibility. Obviously, I think Daisy is the highest actress Quake that we all want to be on the show.
See,
She's obviously the highlight.
I can see actors going into the MCU, but I don't see their character from like other universes going to.
I don't think Kevin Feige would actually hire any of those actors to play a different role in the MCU, just because of how heavily that show connected within the first 2 seasons, and then it kind of loosely connected throughout as it kept going.
Yeah, like Kevin Feige didn't want anything to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. anyway, so I can't see it. But if it happens, it happens.
If there's an audience for her or any of those characters,
yeah,
Kevin Feige will listen. I truly believe it. And I've been seeing that steam going because I've been seeing a bunch of Daisy, Quake needs to come. And I don't even remember who there was 2 people they kept saying, but Daisy was obviously the big one. She was the most likable, coolest fucking character in that show. And it had Coulson that connected to the Avengers, obviously. So that's another thing we have to think about. But anyone else want to touch on any of that?
Well, I would just say that it's hard for Kevin Feige to ignore because it's not the Snyder Cult. It's not that big, but there is a small faction of us that love that show. Mm-hmm. And with that following, along with it has to be canon. I mean, what's her name? Thor's not the 3, but the girl. What's her name? Sif. She appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nick Fury appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Mm-hmm. Most of it, in my opinion, is canon.
And
a lot
Sif
of it
is appearing again too. Sif is appearing.
Yeah, exactly. And also the fall of Hydra in Winter Soldier directly played into the series. So as much as you want to ignore it, like most of it is canon.
Yeah, ironically enough, because I know that was like a big argument throughout the entire show was, it doesn't connect that much. But when we really think about it, I think it connects really well at the end of the day.
You can make the same argument for Netflix's MCU.
I didn't say Netflix, you couldn't.
Marvel as well too,
I mean, if the rumors are true, I don't know if this one's true, but I heard Jessica Jones, Kristen Ritter has been going around. That one seems a lot more unlikely, but the biggest one is Charlie Cox as Daredevil in Spider-Man 3. That's the biggest one going around. I'm not going to say it's true, but I'm not going to say it's false. But if that turns out to be true, I don't see that stopping Kevin Feige from bringing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in.
Yeah, that's true. It's false until proven otherwise.
Exactly. We can't say that it's true, but we also can't say that it's false because we know absolutely nothing from the project. But dude, I thought this was another great episode. Definitely a little bit lower end for me, just because I wish I saw more of that Agatha Harkin storyline kind of sprinkled out more throughout one episode at least. But yeah, what do we touched a little bit on the twins, Tommy and Billy. What do you guys think Agatha is doing with them right now? I know AJ said taking over the body. Okay,
she ate them.
She ate them. Okay. Deibs, what about you?
She ate him.
She ate him. Okay. Well, go 3 for 3, man.
I'm pissed. She ate him.
I might as well just say
freaking Wanda was like, "Where are the twins?" I was like, "No!"
Hold on. Yeah. I'm gonna actually take that back. I actually think that she transferred them into the TV, where you see Wanda watch. I don't know what
I don't think the twins are gone, but if the twins are gone, I think they're gonna play a heavy role on Wanda as a mother in the future, whether Vision stays around. I don't think
did anybody get it vibes at the end of that as well, or is it just me?
What, that she ate him?
No, just the overall ending of the episode 7, like where she went down to the basement and so when she went down to the basement, it felt like at chapter 1 where you see them go down the basement and it was like the horror vibe, and then in chapter 2 where you see Pennywise within the TV and you see Wanda watching the TV, it just felt like it to me, near the end at least, not the whole episode.
I'm just ready for Agatha to be dressed up like a witch, like with a giant cauldron, and the kids are like hanging in cages.
I mean, she was close to that. She was close to that.
It's getting that way. It's getting that way. I think we're gonna go full witch with Agatha and the hexes. Really.
I just gotta say though, like her going down those stairs, like I was watching that at like 1 a.m. It really hit some strong horror vibes, like Tales from the Crypt kind of shit, man. I was like, oh shit, this is kind of creepy. And also I loved that Captain Han. The last thing we hear is like a Wicked Witch laugh, like Wicked Witch of the West, like
Evil of the Dead. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Any take on her powers, guys? Any take on her powers? Because they were clearly very similar. It was like she had purple powers, whereas Scarlet Witch had red. Do they have the same powers? Like, any thoughts on that? Because I don't know. Like, she kind of had the same vibe.
I'm gonna say that it means absolutely nothing. I think just because of trying to explain how motion and powers work, I feel like they're just trying to keep it simple and easy, and then by changing the color to help differentiate them. That's what I think, but I do think that they might have similar powers, or Agatha's powerful enough to manipulate Wanda into self-imploding herself. Not literally, but metaphorically.
Can I make an interesting comparison?
Go ahead, love.
So you guys remember like Man of Steel, where General Zod's like, I've been fighting my whole life. You just learned how to fly today or some shit. He said something along those lines. I think it's gonna be like that, right? Where Agatha was raised a witch and she is a pure evil creature, right? But Wanda was manipulated and experimented on by Hydra. So I think it'll be kind of like, oh, you're powerful, I'm powerful, but you literally learned how to do this like so long ago. I've been doing this my whole life. I think that'll be interesting when they finally have their confrontation.
See, for me, I think that Agatha got her powers from the Darkhold. That's why it relates to Wanda a little bit, because I feel like the Darkhold is multiplying Wanda's powers to be able to like control like the entire atmosphere where they are.
Or could it be like I'm trying to think. Fuck, I just had the character in my head.
I see Scarlet Witch powers diminishing. I see her powers losing.
But I think it goes with her mind. I think it's all in her mental state.
Yeah.
I feel like the more negative she is, the more deteriorating those powers become. And I feel like
it's no coincidence that Vision hasn't been with her for the last 2 days, and you see her powers like complete. She's losing complete control over reality. So I think those go hand in hand.
That's a good point, because the first way I interpreted it was maybe she was stretched too thin, because remember she increased the bubble.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
So that was my first thought. But Deibs, that's actually a good point, because it reminds me of like, I mean, not to make comparisons to other movies again, but it reminds me of Spider-Man 2, where Peter kind of was losing his powers because of he was just not himself. He wasn't in a good mind state. So I think it's kind of interesting, like seeing that psyche of our heroes, like maybe when they're not mentally strong, they can't perform and they can't, do the things they're supposed to do. I think that's really interesting.
And that's why I really like this episode, because you're clearly getting set up for Wanda to make a decision. She's choosing to remain in her bubble. She doesn't want to face the trauma of the real world. It's hurting others as a result. I think Vision's going to come in and save her, but really it's going to be Wanda's decision to accept and come to terms with those choices that she's made. You saw it all throughout this episode. And I'm just telling you guys, like, get the Kleenex ready, because she's going to become Scarlet Witch at the end of this.
Deibs, you touched on it.
She's going to say goodbye to Vision, and it is going to be the biggest kick in the nuts ever, man. It's gonna
fuck me up.
Deibs, you touched on a very perfect thing. I'm gonna dive in a little bit deeper on that. So I found it kind of odd in this episode and last episode. They've made it kind of clear that the people are telling Vision that he's dead. So what if Vision goes down and he kind of gives her that clarity to move on without him forward, and that's what brings her out of that mental state of some sorts. And I think Agatha is gonna be the person to give her the Scarlet Witch name.
Cool.
I think Agatha is gonna give her the Scarlet Witch name. And to go back on the Dormammu thing real quick, what if they pull Inigo the Living Planet on us? What if Dormammu and Agatha, or what if Agatha is Dormammu's half daughter? just like Peter Quill was Ego's half son, and she's like half bad and then half human. Something goes like that, and he helped embrace those powers in her that she never knew she had.
The only thing I don't believe that is because Dormammu isn't a planet once for starters. He is basically an entire dimension. So that wouldn't work.
This is
in a way.
Comic book.
Also, Dormammu has never been to Earth because that's already been stated in Doctor Strange.
I never said he had to be in Earth. I never said he had to be in Earth.
So how would he have a kid?
I don't know, but I'm just saying. What if someone brought her? What if someone brought a mother? That I don't know. It's a far one. It's a far one. I agree.
The only problem with Dormammu is like that is a big bad. We're talking about a huge big bad that's on par with Thanos, on par with Galactus. He's just on the mystical side. So unless they're gonna kind of flip the script, on the MCU moving forward, I think jumping into Dormammu is way too soon. It is way too soon for them to go full Dormammu rather than slowly build it up. I think Mephisto is a better.
But Mephisto is on the same level of Dormammu. Same with Nightmare. They're both on that mystical.
We're all talking about those Thanos level villains, but Dormammu was also treated like Thanos in Doctor Strange. I'd say he was kind of a hidden talk about figure up until that Dormammu I came to bargain scene, and that's about it. So I just felt like that was a massive cock block for anyone that really knew who Dormammu was, and I feel like this is that payoff. Because we also know Mordo is coming back for the Doctor Strange sequel. That he could, I think Mordo is going to connect into WandaVision. I don't know how, but I'm calling it.
I can see how Mordo can connect with WandaVision. Yeah. The reason why I say this is
him and Agatha could be working together.
That's what I'm thinking. Also, where at the end of Doctor Strange, he says that he wants to end all of like everybody with mystical powers. So what if at the end,
no more sorcerers?
No more sorcerers. That's what. Yep, exactly. Which might pay off, I think, but I don't think it will. And then Mortal is going to come into play. And Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
I think Mordo is playing more of that third party in WandaVision. I don't think he'll show up, but I feel like in Doctor Strange, there's gonna be a few lines said back and forth saying or hinting that he had more to do with what happened than anyone perceived. But is there anything else that anyone kind of wanted to touch on? I was gonna mention the Vision stuff, but I didn't really feel like there was enough there to talk about.
I loved it, but
I loved it, but that's about it. I felt like it was just a buddy cop thing, a buddy road trip film between Vision and Darcy. I don't really think there was too much from that other than just the plot line moving forward.
That's a lot.
I know you know what I mean. I can't put it into words. Yeah. But does anyone want to touch on that real quick?
No, but I just had another thought come into my head. Could you imagine if Doctor Strange comes into the Hex, and then you have Wanda and Doctor Strange going up against Agatha, and then what? Herb is actually Mordo, and then it's like come on, and then they have like just everyone kind of in this Hex.
Oh my God, you just reminded me.
Fight.
Deep, something that none of us even cared to even think about. What about that fucking bug she noticed? So who do we think who or what do we think that is? Because it just seems like a spy tactic. I definitely think it's whoever is Agatha's working with. Just keeping like an extra eye on her to try and keep her contained to everything going on. Anything else, guys, before we start wrapping it up?
I want to talk on high reviews comment. Elizabeth Olsen giving the best performance from anyone in the MCU.
I disagree.
That's tough to say since there was a lot of powerful performance.
Dude, I'll straight up disagree.
She is amazing in it. But
it's not the best performance.
She's showing off her chops, but I don't know about that.
She is.
Yep,
Oh,
Tiana's
Sonny.
my girl though. Tiana all the way. I think Tiana's stolen every single scene she's been in.
I'm so excited for her.
Man, she absolutely crushed it. I love her vibe. It fits like my
Dude,
personality.
I can't wait to see her in Captain
I
Marvel.
love her just being like I can't wait to see her in Captain Marvel too. Like that, her and Carol are going to be such a fearsome duo.
They need to touch on that.
They need to touch on that problem. Like AJ, they need to touch on that conflict. And I think it goes back to Maria and the cancer or something. I think it all revolves the three of them. But yeah, guys, dude, this was an awesome episode. Let's just go into like some final thoughts and our grades. AJ, hit us with it, man.
A plus. It's not the best television I've ever watched, but in terms of the MCU, I believe that it pushed the needle forward, as Deibs would say, within the context of WandaVision. And not only that, it pushed the needle forward for the entire state of the MCU, which is just a perfect episode for me because the way they are introducing powers, introducing new elements within WandaVision and an entire MCU. Just everything worked for me on a masterful level on this episode.
Yeah. And before we move on to you guys, I just want to say high reviews, man. I just want to say everything Olsen has done this season still doesn't beat the final back and forth between Vision and Thanos. I still think that's the best Olsen scene or the most impacted on myself, I'd say. But Deibs, what are your final opinions on this episode and give us your rating, man?
Get your Kleenex ready because the next two episodes,
something
major traumatic is going down for Wanda, and it's going to be brutal to watch. I compared Vision and Wanda in my review to like Romeo and Juliet, and what's more tragic? They're up there, man. This is top tier tragedy going down, and I definitely foresee Scarlet Witch becoming Scarlet Witch because she accepts the truth, and that's definitely going to be in the near future. This was like a B plus for me. This is an amazing episode. Lo, you touched on it. The writing, the performances are all top notch. Photon is here. The Hell Dimension is here. It opens the door for so many possibilities. I'm talking Blade. I'm talking vampires. I'm talking all that stuff. And I am a huge fan of Blade. So this was like I talked about how like Agatha is like a witch, like stirring her cauldron. This is like the Hansel and Gretel. Like the breadcrumbs have been laid to that supernatural world, and I can't be more excited.
Well, what about you, my man?
Are we doing letters now, or we skip the numbers?
I don't know.
I mean, I've always done straight numbers. That's all.
Yeah, we're gonna do both. 8.5, B plus, or no B, just a straight B. I agree with you, Deibs. It's more of a B, but it wasn't the best episode in the series, but it definitely progressed the story enough for us to stay engaged. I loved the reveal of Agatha. I have two things though. I think number one, if Photon, because I heard rumors or whatever, whether or not it happens, so help me. But if they ever do an A-Force, come on, man. Like, I know she's not part of the team in the comics, whatever, but Photon's got to be a part of this thing, man. She's just got such charisma. And
what would your team be for A-Force? What would your team be?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I feel like they already set up half of it, right? So we got Captain Marvel and She-Hulk coming, and I think in terms of if Photon isn't on there, I just think it would be a disrespect to the actress and her character. Also, who else can we throw on there? I mean,
She-Hulk, definitely.
You already said She-Hulk. We have Hawkeye. We have Ironheart.
So you need to include mutants in this, right?
Yeah, you can include mutants as well.
So Dazzler, something.
There's so many.
Until you get mutants in this, I don't know where we're gonna go. But that seems like down the road.
I was gonna say it's wishful thinking at this point, but I just think she deserves to shine more. And that's to keep it short.
Yep.
Secondly,
and honestly, I think Marvel notices that too, because I've seen nothing but positive things about her all over social media, and I think Marvel really notices.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know she's probably not an official member, but I think it would be a disservice to her to not include her in more things. But last thing I want to say is I want to speak to the budget again because this was budgeted at $220 million or whatever. This is like a feature film packed into like 9 episodes of television. I don't think we've seen the budget yet. Maybe we're at like 120, 140.
No, dude,
packing it into these 2 episodes, man.
I'm guaranteeing you at least half that budget went into the last episode. I'm feeling it. We have not seen anything because this has more visual effects than Endgame, by the way. So think about Endgame and think about what we've seen in WandaVision. Deibs, go ahead before I wrap these up.
My final, you nailed it, Loretto. I just want to say my final thought is the fact that this is a superhero show. This is a major, like coming off of Endgame, Infinity War, 2 of the best superhero movies of all time. It's keeping us engaged, yet there's literally no action scenes in this entire show. So just think about that for a second.
Wait, just before I'm done. $220 million.
That's like every Marvel movie, pretty much.
Disney Plus is at over 93 million subscribers right now. They have nothing to worry about for budget wise. So.
With the with the way the show,
we've seen like 7 episodes of just kind of standard fare. We haven't seen the money yet.
Last episode is going to be where all that money went to, guaranteed.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, right. Dude, it was another great episode of WandaVision. Personally, like I said, I'm gonna agree with Deibs and Loretto. This was at least a B, 8.5. I'm sticking around, simply because I like I said before, I wish they kind of. I wish they made the Agatha Hart reveal a little bit better. I really enjoyed the episode nonetheless. I love the little RV comedy humor between Vision and Darcy. I love Monica. I love Jimmy Woo. They're all fantastic. And dude, I'm getting pumped for these next 2 weeks. I don't know how we are going to do this episode next week.
I might skip next week. Not even get on Twitter next week. So I can watch 2 episodes at once.
No way, I can't do that.
Dude, I can't live without Twitter.
There's no way you can wait 2 weeks. Absolutely no chance.
Nah, but dude, we're ready, dude. We're at the height of the roller coaster, and it's coming fucking down. We're going 80 miles an hour.
No, we're still in the incline. I believe we're still in the incline. Multiverse of Madness will be the decline. That's going to be the craziness right there.
That's crazy, man. But dude, another great episode of WandaVision and the Suit Up Geek talking about WandaVision. Dude, I missed talking to you guys about it, missed last week, and I can't wait to talk these next 2 weeks with you guys about it because honestly, I've not enjoyed television like this in a while, and I don't even remember the last time I've watched a weekly release television show to add. So yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out, and see you on the next one.
Watch Dickens.